Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Boomer Bust podcast here for February 10th, 2023. I'm your host, Shoot the Rock, and I'm here with my boy, Matt. How we doing today?
Good, good. Happy Friday, everybody. 2 days away from the Super Bowl Sunday. Excited for that. Yeah, a lot of fucking trades in the NBA, and I'm excited to get into this pod. It's gonna be a gritty one.
Yes, sir. And yeah, like Marty said, NBA trade deadline. Usually we start football, but today, there was so many big things that went down in the trade deadline. Did not see them coming. RIP the Brooklyn Nets. So yeah, we're gonna start there. I gotta ask, what are your big takeaways? What do you think the Nets? Would you call them your bust of the trade deadline team that kind of fell apart, or is there someone you think
Yeah.
came away even worse?
No, I mean, I want to talk about the Bulls, so don't remind me to touch topic on the Bulls.
Okay.
But yes, it's definitely Brooklyn. They were the fourth seed prior to this, a week from today, past week from today. So last Friday, they were the fourth seed in the East. They dropped to the fifth after this week of games, but fourth seed in the East, and you sell your whole team. No KD, no Kyrie. That's got to be the bust team. You were easily a top contender in the East. You probably weren't going to get out of it again, but you're still competing at a top three, top four seed potential, and you let your best two players go. And the return in that they got for both of them, I'm not too high on. I love McCall Bridges. I think he's a stud. However, Cam Johnson, he's had problems staying on the court, being on the court healthy. And then I just, Brooklyn is, I don't know what the organization is doing long term, what they're trying to do, because now their best player is Ben Simmons. And that just scares me. So for me, yeah, it's got to be Brooklyn as the boss team. Same for you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I don't really know if there's any like lifelong Brooklyn Nets fans out there. I think probably more of their fans are just like the KD Kyrie fans. But you got to feel for them after, close to a decade ago now, the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, all that. Looks like the franchise is finally going in the right direction, and then you can't let the inmates run the inn, and that's what happened. I'm all for this like player empowerment and player mobility, but yeah, like you said, they're like contending in the East. They finally like got all their like off the court stuff in order, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kyrie Irving requests a trade and you just grant that. And then what a surprise, Kevin Durant, who requested a trade over the summer, then gets moved as well. I didn't expect him to get moved that quick, but you had to like kind of see it coming. I thought it was be more an off-season thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a team that like they had a big three of three Hall of Famers, and it resulted in one playoff series win. Like it's just
Yeah.
like you can't just give in. Like you're gonna go through adversity as a team, and the fact that like anytime adversity came, they just handled it horribly, and it resulted in them losing all three for really not a great return. I'd have to agree. Like they're just by far, like I don't really know what more to say. But yeah, why don't you touch on the Bulls since that was the team you wanted to talk about?
The Bulls and the Heat. And the Heat earlier in this podcast, I said, is one of those teams that I think this year is gonna underperform. And so far, I feel like they've been living up to it. But let's talk about the Bulls. Both organizations made no moves at all. And for the Bulls, I was expecting a house cleaning to happen. I don't know if that's me just being like excited for Chicago that there's a potential that we could get a star, like a bigger name star or something. But they did absolutely nothing. We still got Kobe White, still got Pat Will, still got Levine after all the problems in the locker room these past couple of weeks that with like Levine that they've had. I wish that the Bulls were more, I guess the word would be trigger happy to make a decision to push them over the edge because they're currently like the 10th after last night's loss. I think the 10th seed in the East or ninth seed in the East. And they don't have enough that's going to beat these top teams like Boston, like Philly. And they could have made moves. I think they easily could have made moves to go get some players to help them out. Moving on from Levine, maybe. I don't know if that's what Chicago fans want, but I think it's what they need. So I'm just disappointed in the Bulls. And then for the Heat, too, I thought they should have been buyers. They should have been out there looking for somebody to help. So both organizations just made no moves, and it was kind of disappointing to see.
No, I'd have to completely agree with that. The Bulls right now at best, their ceiling I'd say is a first round exit. So I mean,
Yep.
just kind of standing pat makes like no sense. I mean, fans seem pretty happy with Karnisovas so far, like moving on from the
Yeah.
Garpax era. But yeah, I mean, when you're in the Heat too, like just in like situations where you're not a championship contender and you're just kind of middle of the road, that's the worst place to be in the NBA. So the fact
Yeah.
that they both just kind of stood pat and did nothing about it has to be really frustrating.
100%.
Moving over here, unless you have anything else on the East. Looking at the West now, we got some loaded teams. You know, Kyrie
Oh yeah.
joining the Mavs with Luca. We got the Suns now, Kevin Durant. The Nuggets aren't going anywhere. They still got a really solid squad. I mean,
Yeah.
who would you say is kind of like your boom team out west? Like, who do you think you can expect a big increase here from in the second half and would kind of be your like favorite to come out of the West?
See, I think the correct answer here would be Phoenix. However, Phoenix now is lacking a bench.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big thing in the end of these regular season games. You don't want to be playing KD and Devin Booker 40 minutes a night when you're trying, because I think they're the sixth seed right now, if I'm not mistaken. So you don't want to be playing KD and Booker and 35, 40 minutes a night from here on out to the end of the year, because they're going to be gas come playoff time. Everybody knows that. I mean, look at Harden in Houston. He played 40 minutes almost every game, every regular season. And came playoff time, his legs weren't under him anymore. So I think that the right answer is Phoenix. However, I'm going to go an oddball, and I'm going to go the Clippers.
Mm.
I think the Clippers made a couple decent moves in this trade deadline, and I think they've been sneaky good all year. It's just been the lack of consistency of Kawhi being on the court enough, PG and him getting that team chemistry up again, because they still haven't played too many games together. But I do think the Clippers made a good move by signing Eric Gordon. That was big. And I just think the Clippers are a team that's going to slowly but continue to win games with their defensive ability and their talent. They're a team that I think has been getting overlooked, especially since they didn't make any huge move like Phoenix or like Dallas did. But I mean, they're still battling as a top 5, 6 seed in the West right now, and I think they're my team. I'm going to say they're my boom team for the end going into going into the second half of the season in the playoffs. It's got to be the Clippers for me.
Yeah, so right now, yeah, the Suns are sitting in the sixth. They're 30-27. Your Clippers are 31-27 at fifth,
Okay.
so half game ahead. And then the Mavericks have a
Okay.
bit better winning percentage, but that's because they've played less games, are in fourth. And then the Kings, who, as much as I like them, feel good story, I think they're probably going to slip a little bit. They're in third at 31-23 as we're
Yep.
currently recording. Yeah, I mean, I like that. I definitely could see the Clippers as a dark horse if they like stay healthy. For me, I'm gonna go Denver. I really like that acquisition of Thomas Bryant. He had been playing well for the Lakers this year, and to get him as like a backup, because I mean, I don't really think they needed a big like star move like Phoenix or Dallas made, but I think Denver's like they've been a pretty solid
Yeah,
team all
maybe
year.
not on
They've been
that caliber.
inconsistent on the road lately. Like they lost at Orlando last night, their fourth straight road loss. But
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
that kind of happens middle of the season here, slip up in the road. I still like Denver is kind of the favorite to come out of the West for me. Any other deals that you want to touch on a little bit here that you liked or disliked for certain teams?
I like the Raptors signing Jakob Poeltl from San Antonio.
Yeah,
I
getting
think
him,
that
yeah.
was a little bit underrated. Even though to me that just the Raptors is just it's the triplet towers over there. You got like I think I was looking last night, 7 of their 10 starters, people who get not starters, players who get minutes, 10 out of their 10, 7 of them are 6'8" or taller. You got Precious, Scotty Barnes. You got so many tall guys on that floor. Siakam, now you're adding Jakob Poeltl, Chris Boucher. So that team is lengthy. So I kind of like adding Yaka because they get that dominant center, but they're so lackluster at that point guard and guard position, I feel like. But anything else? Oh, my boy Bones Highland got traded, which I'm a little sad about.
Yeah,
But
he that was I thought he could have commanded a lot more than that.
I agree. I was a little shocked, but when I saw that, I was like, I feel like that was like a bag of chips that he just went with. But I
Hmm.
mean, that was an interesting one. Obviously, Westbrook knew that was coming. Just where was the answer? Didn't really surprise me.
Yeah,
And then, um, no, that's probably about it. How about
gotcha.
you? Anything
I'll touch
shocked
on the
you?
Westbrook trade a little bit, being the in-house Lakers fan, as I'm also wearing my Yankees hat today, really showing my true colors. I like the move. It definitely gives the Lakers more depth, which they did not have. But also, I feel bad for Russell Westbrook. He was just kind
Oh
of
yeah,
put in a poor position his whole time in LA, and he was kind of been the team scapegoat. And for me
yep.
now, it kind of just like, all right, it's like, who are we gonna blame it on now when like all else fails? Because I mean, the Lakers too. Like, it's a good move. It makes them better. I still think their probably ceiling now is a first round exit. Like, I don't really think any of these top teams are gonna be scared of the Lakers, and just
No.
like, okay. Well, also we gotta say congratulations, LeBron James, new all time
Yep.
point scorer.
Congratulations, Legoat.
But it was like kind of pissing me off. Like people are like saying like, oh, it's kind of a meaningless game. Like they're two like teams like that aren't very good. It's like no, like the Lakers needed to win that game. Like
Yes.
we're trailing. They not we're. I'm not on the team. They're trailing like the Thunder in the standings. Like they needed that game, and
Yeah.
so as much as like yeah, I'm like happy like LeBron great moment. Like definitely should have been celebrated how it was. But like I don't know. It's like still like you got to go out there and play basketball. Like find a way to win that game. Hopefully now with guys like Beasley and I think Russell's play style, D'Angelo Russell's play style will be different enough from LeBron. Like we can get some more shooting, better spacing or they
Yep.
can. I'm sorry, I keep saying we. I hate that I'm doing that.
It's okay. You can
Um,
claim it.
but I don't know, like and so like I think it was a good trade for the Lakers overall. And then like yeah, I said I kind of said Thomas Bryant left. He was playing well, but then bringing in Mo Bamba, I like that. That's a good acquisition to be like a backup center. So I think
Yep.
overall like the Lakers did make some solid trades. I just really don't know how much of a difference it's gonna make. All right, just to wrap up here then to put a seal on NBA since we gave our West predictions. Who you like out of the East? Who like right
Um.
now on February 10th are we gonna put down in our graphic here? That's our NBA final season prediction that we'll come back to.
For me, I'm not going to be the biased fan today. It's not the Sixers. I want it to be the Sixers, but it's not the Sixers. It's Milwaukee. Milwaukee's been coasting all year, just slowly under the radar while still being a top two team in the East. Um, Giannis is still in my opinion, the most dominant player in the league when he wants to be. And yeah, it's Milwaukee for me.
I'd have to
Short and
agree.
sweet.
I'd have to agree with that. And yeah, they also got Jay Crowder. I mean, he hasn't been playing this year,
Mm-hmm.
but like that's also a pretty solid pickup for them. Some depth.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely would say Milwaukee or my other pick would probably be Boston, but then I don't know. Jalen
Yeah.
Brown went out, so we'll have to see. They might slip
Mm-hmm.
up a little bit here, but yeah, no, I like that. I like those picks. All right, we'll transition from our hypothetical NBA Finals predictions to our real NFL Finals prediction here. And Matt, I gotta start. I gotta flex on you a little bit. The last episode, I did correctly pick the Eagles and the Chiefs to win, while you picked the 49ers and the Bengals. Do you have any words
You
on
did.
that?
You did. Congratulations, Derek. You are so much better than me, so much smarter than me, and this is why you're the GOAT. So, like, that's all I gotta say. I bow down to you, and you were correct. But I do want to slip one thing in there. There's a couple of horrible calls in that Chiefs game that I would love to talk about shortly for 30 seconds to a minute if we got time.
All right, I'll give you
So,
30 seconds to cry about the refing.
am I the only one? I need people in the comments down below after we post this to respond. Am I talking ludicrous? Like, those were some bad calls favoring a Kansas City team that I think the league really wanted in this Super Bowl. There were a couple calls with the intentional grounding that went from Burrow to Samaj P. Ryan, and then the next drive, Mahomes had a similar one to Kelsey. It was a couple yards shorter, but no call. Then that redo down that I've never seen in my life. There was a lot of fugazi that game, but at the end of the day, Derek, you picked the winning teams. I was wrong, so I'm not going to cry about it. But it was just a couple questionable calls.
Fair
Other than
enough.
that, the Niners, okay, yeah. Who was playing quarterback? I don't know.
XFL
Christian
legend
McCaffrey.
Josh Johnson. Might have to start talking some XFL on the pod starting up
Mm-hmm.
again soon. Give some
Oh yeah.
predictions that we will probably have no fucking clue. I
No.
mean, granted, I feel like probably
Yeah.
XFL no one does, but
No one does, but
who knows if the season will even finish, but yeah.
got to roll the content out.
Exactly.
Might as well.
Exactly. All right, but right now the final real football game of the year. Right now we are sitting at Eagles -1.5 over under 51 points. Kickoff 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern Sunday on Fox. Matt, is there any Which way are you kind of leaning right now?
Ready, everybody? Are you ready for me to shock the world?
We
Matthew, am
ready?
leaning. I am leaning. Give me tails on the coin toss all day, all day. Tails never fails. That's where I'm putting my money, and that's where it's sitting. Get in, get out, quick scenario. Tails. But to be real, I like.
Oh, I just flipped heads. You would have just lost a lot of money.
That's why Derek isn't out there flipping the coin, everybody. Exactly that. That's why. But no, I don't know. This is such a pick'em spot, and most Super Bowls are usually. I don't think I'm gonna bet the spread, even talking about it. But what was it? You said -1.5 for the
Minus one and a
Eagles.
half. So I mean, essentially a pick 'em.
So it's essentially a pick 'em. And for me, I feel like spreads, at least in the last couple years, unless it's been like that field goal spread, that 3, 2.5, 3, I just feel like spreads don't play too much of a factor into the bowl, like the final score. Like, yeah, we had last year, I think it was a 3-point game, but like a 1.5 spread, you're giving me nothing on that to work with. So I'd rather just take the outright money line for either or. I'm leaning the Chiefs, but I hate Patrick Mahomes at Jeff Biddle. So I don't know. I'm leaning the Chiefs. Something telling me the Chiefs, but the Eagles are just a better football team. So I'm gonna be honest. I might not even have a pick for this game. So Derek, where's your headline?
Oh,
Because
come on. You gotta
I'm
give
on
the
the fence.
people a pick.
All right, Chiefs. I'll go
You'll
Chiefs
go
then. Go
Chiefs.
ahead.
All right. No, that's fine. I like that because I'm kind of with you. I really don't know. I think like just about every position outside of quarterback, the Eagles
Oh,
probably are the better team. But I'm
yeah.
just like, and it's not even no disrespect, Jalen Hurts. He's been playing great this year. But I mean,
Oh yeah.
Mahomes, as much as our guy Jeff kind of derides him, there's a guy that can make a play and win you a game. I would say it would be him. I liked what you kind of said before we were recording. If it was to be a blowout, I feel it's a lot more likely the Eagles would blow them out. Kind of like
Yep.
gives me vibes of a couple years ago, that Buccaneers Chiefs Super Bowl. But I don't think it will be a blowout. I think it'll be close, but I'm gonna lean Eagles. So
Okay.
we're split again. You're gonna go Chiefs. I'm gonna go Eagles. We'll see if I'm right again, or if you can get back at me a little bit here.
I got to get back in the win column. Come
Yeah,
on now.
exactly. What kind of like any like props or like kind of other bets you're like? You mentioned the coin toss. Do you have any other goofy ones?
For some novelty specials, I got a
Yeah.
lot of goofy. Matt loves getting in the
All
goofy
right,
for
bet.
these.
Let's hear them.
The national anthem
Mm-hmm.
is country singer. Last 6 out of the last 8 country singers have gone over 2 minutes and 2 seconds. This country singer also, I'm bad at names, so I don't know his name. I apologize.
I don't know who's
But
singing it either.
yeah,
I haven't
no.
even looked.
But I know he has this big famous song. Sorry for any fans that know of him. I'm not good with country artists. And he did a slowed version in concert. And the song's about a 3-minute song. And he did a slowed version in concert that was like 9.5 minutes long. Do I think he can pan out and slow this national anthem down a little bit? I think so. I love how I'm talking like this, like analytics.
Chris
So
Stapleton.
yeah,
That's who
Chris
it is.
Stapleton. I like the over for
Okay.
2 minutes and 2 seconds of the national anthem. And I also like there to be 2 challenges. Andy Reid to throw there to be 2 over 1.5 challenges.
Okay.
I think Andy Reid's going to come out, use his challenge nice and early. He's going to want to get at his advantage. And then Sirianni late in the game is going to want to challenge something that's going to decide if Philly keeps the ball and can have a chance to kneel it out or vice versa. I like the over 1.5 challenge flags and the tails and the over in the national anthem. Other than that, real prop wise, I like a Hurts anytime and I lean Kelsey's yards. No matter what it is, Travis Kelsey's yards, I lean. So those are probably my 5 favorite overall bets: 3 novelty, 2 player props. But how about you? Where's your head lying on these things? There's a lot of bets out there to place.
Oh,
There's
maybe
so
it's
many.
not on here anymore. I was gonna go with the one I kind of like for Rihanna at halftime. First song might be a long shot, but like I can kind of see this one. Shout out NBA 2K13 because it was the intro song for that. I'm going with "Run This Town." Like I think that could be a big, like that would be a like hype intro one, like "Feel
That
it
is
coming in
coming
the air."
in
Like that would be a
the
good
air.
one to start out with.
That's
I feel like.
I like that, Derek. I like
And I think like there's kind of some long shot odds on it. So like I might have to put some. I usually don't bet weird things like that. Oh, I don't
Yeah.
bet at all. I don't bet at all. But if I were to bet theoretically, that's probably where I'd put.
Yeah, put sprinkle on it. That's awesome.
Um,
That's a good call right there,
yeah.
Derek.
And then for the game, I like Kelsey anytime score. And then I'm gonna go if you can get Mahomes at over 1.5 touchdown passes. I like that. Those are my two favorites. I could definitely see that Hurts anytime. I'll have to look into some more Eagles ones, which is funny because like I said, I picked the Eagles, but I really like the Mahomes to throw
Like the
two touchdown
props,
passes
yeah.
and Kelsey to catch one of them. So
Ooh, that
that's where
might
I'm
be
kind of leaning.
a sneaky boomer bust parlay.
Honestly, yeah, we
Ooh.
might put that together for the
Might have to
people.
put that on Twitter. Keep an
I
eye on
agree.
at BORB podcast. Correct?
Yes,
On
that's the
Twitter?
Twitter. That's the Twitter.
That's what I
I
thought.
believe.
Keep an eye out for that because we might put something together. He likes Kelsey touchdown. I like Kelsey yards. Maybe we do a little Mahomes to Kelsey in the end zone parlay. Ooh. Keep an eye out on the Twitter though. Keep an eye out.
For sure. You got anything else on the Super Bowl? Or is that all we got?
Um, we think it's gonna be high scoring or low scoring. In the terms of, are we talking? Do we think it's gonna be like a 17-14, a 21-24 game, or are we looking at more like 35-33, 38-35? Where are you leaning? Just between like those scores, kind of.
I mean, we've seen Philly put up some big numbers here in the postseason. Granted, I mean against maybe not super strong teams,
Yeah,
but also I mean like Kansas City, just the star power they have, the star power offensively on both sides. I'd probably lean. I mean, solid defenses, but I'd probably lean high scoring. Like
that's
I
what I'm
would probably
thinking
look
too.
in like I'd probably take the over 51. I feel like that's
A
kind of
hundred
low.
percent. I'm thinking high 20s, 30s area for sure. Like a 31-28, 34-31 type of game. But yeah.
Plus, that's also just kind of me as a fan. Like I want to see like a good
Yeah.
like high
See
scoring competitive
points. Yep.
football game. Keeps everyone involved.
Yep. We don't want to see a Broncos Seattle back 10 years ago
Oh my
Super Bowl.
god, that was horrible. I've never seen a game over on the first play like that.
Literally.
Oh, let's see, wrap it up here. Unless you got anything else on the Super Bowl.
No, I think that's all.
All right. Well, let's talk a little NBA All Stars next weekend. We'll look ahead a little bit, and just because it's on my mind, because like the Pro Bowl was last weekend, NHL All Star was last
Yeah.
weekend. What's your like
Well,
take
how
on
was
All
that?
Star games? Like, do you enjoy them? Like, do you think they're entertaining, or like, do you watch it at all, or no?
I do. I do. I've watched all three. I watched a little bit of hockey this year. I'm still, me, still
Okay.
trying to get my boots on the ground over there. So I'm not going to speak on hockey, but I'll talk baseball, basketball, football. I think the best overall event in all three of those, like combined, has got to be the home run derby. I think at one point in time it used to be the dunk contest. I think that maybe had an edge over the home run derby. Maybe that's just me being a biased fan. But years ago when you had Clyde Drexler and that MJ, all the crazy names. But now I think it's got to be the home run derby for the top event. However, the NBA All Star Game is still fun. At least they're out there playing basketball. Yes, they're letting Luca pull from the logo, and no one's guarding him, and you're not getting barely any post touches, and nobody boxing out. But it's still a fun game because you still get to go out there and watch greatness compared to the NFL, where it's turned into this drama or this diva drama. I don't even know what to call it, flag football thing, which I think they did a really good job this past week on. Actually, there was a lot of cool events that made it more interesting to kind of bring viewers back into it. But I think they should either do little events like that for the NFL and then no flag football game, or just go back to the regular football game of them just playing. Because like this flag football game with the three separate games and then like the the shortened field, and I wasn't a big fan of it. So to sum it all up quickly, I do like all-star events as a whole. Like the three-point contest is fun. The home run derby is fun. It was cool in the MLB this year to see him like mic'd up and chatting and stuff. I don't know if they'd done that previously,
No, I
but
think maybe last year, but I
okay.
think yeah, that's like definitely very new.
No. So I'm still a fan of it for all of the sports. I just think they can do better jobs of it and kind of narrow it down to make it a little more entertaining for the fans, so much as like the longevity aspect of it. But no, it was a good weekend this past week for the NFL. I would say it was one of the better ones I've seen. But what about you? What are your
Okay.
thoughts overall
No,
on it?
I definitely would agree. I think baseball is by far the best one. Yeah, the home run derby is very
Yeah.
entertaining, and like I mean, baseball. Granted, people have like said like, oh, these pitchers just groove in pitches. Like that's definitely the one they like try in the most because I feel like
Oh,
it's kind of
100%.
difficult to like
To
not
like
try in baseball.
half-ass. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and I mean that granted people didn't like it and it's probably a good thing they got rid of it. Like baseball, they like did it was like whatever league won the All-Star game like got home field advantage in the
Home
World
field,
Series.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they got rid of that now,
Ah,
which is probably good. But like I definitely would agree, baseball is the best.
yeah.
I turned on. I maybe watched like 2 drives of the flag football game. No, I mean I'll give them credit. Everyone jokes about how the Pro Bowl is not a real football game. Well, they literally made it not a real football game.
Yeah.
So they're doing like skills like competition kind of stuff now
Yeah.
in the NFL. Like I knew like I see them playing like dodgeball and stuff. I don't really know how I feel about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's a strange, but
Okay, and the NHL, man, I'm just really frustrated. Like since ESPN's acquired them, ESPN has not done a good job promoting hockey. And like I get it. They almost just like have too many events going on. But
yeah.
like they've made the skills competition in the NHL was honestly more what I enjoyed. And like
Hmm.
that, the production of it was just like so like poor. Like they like would like not finish events. They'd like start an event and then cut
Hmm.
to like some other thing. And like now they've started doing these like pre-recorded things. Like this year was in Florida, so they were like doing stuff like on the beach and like at a
Oh,
golf
I
course.
saw that. I saw that hitting the surfboards down
Yeah, and like it's
with the
creative.
puck.
I'll give them credit. And like last year in
Yeah.
Vegas, they did like something with like the cards and like they were shooting in the Bellagio fountain. And like I mean, it's like creative and I like it, but it's almost like getting like too gimmicky. And now the fact that they're like doing these events where they do like part of it at the beginning, and then like they'll
Hmm.
like resume it. It's like hard to follow. I mean, so like I was kind of watching it because I had also like there was a couple events like you could like pick like who you thought was gonna win. So I was like watching for that, like the traditional ones, like hardest shot, like
Hmm.
fastest skater, and it's just like ESPN's production of NHL has just been so poor, and they're just messing it up. NHL also does this thing. I guess they have been doing this the whole time since they went to the 3-on-3 format. Every team gets an all star, and these like teams they do it by division in the NHL.
Hmm.
Your team only has 10 players. Well, you got 8 teams in a division, so that's 8 of the 11 spots are being like automatically filled. And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
like the Chicago Blackhawks are horrible this year. Seth Jones is not an all star. Like
No.
he has
No.
no business being there. Really, what they should do is if they want every team represented, do it like the NBA does, because the NBA doesn't have that requirement where every team needs an all
Yeah.
star. But then they'll have like players who are non all stars now compete in like the
And
dunk
like the
competition,
skills.
the skills, like
Yeah.
the different things. So they should do it more that way. And like no, I'd agree with like your dunk contest point too. Like that, it's like the people in it. Like we have like
Yeah.
Mac McClung's in it. He's not even in the NBA. Like bro's in the G
No, he doesn't
League.
even get minutes. He doesn't get minutes. Like
Bro's.
to touch base real quick.
Mhm.
Can I go ahead for a
Yeah,
second?
go for it. Go for it.
Touch base on what you were saying. Like even with the NHL, like it's cool what they're doing. Like they did the same thing for the Pro Bowl. They did best catch and they had like Stephon Diggs in a pool catching a ball with his hand, another ball with the hand, and the other ball in between his legs while he was laying on a raft in a pool or something. And it's like that was his best catch like thing. And then Amon Ra had something where he was running across like lily pads and jumping in the water.
So was it
I
kind of
get
like
it. These things
judged? It was like
what?
kind of like
It
a
was
dunk contest like style thing.
it was kind of, but and it
Okay.
was voted by fans online. But these were
Oh.
all pre-recorded things. So like, how
Oh.
many chances did Amon really take to catch this? Was it
Yeah.
7 tries, 8 tries? Nobody knows. And you're speaking about that about the NHL, and I saw that with hitting the surfboards down with the pucks. And it's like these things are cool, but these are things they should like release like going up to the week of All-Star Weekend. Like maybe not
Hmm.
put it on the day that you're watching All-Star Weekend or the Pro Bowl. Don't put it on TV and air it that day. Maybe release it on Twitter 4 days before during the All-Star Weekend or this and this to get some attraction and some people like got eyes watching this sport. But then come the event, the day of the event, everything should be done at that event where the fans are,
Hmm.
and it should all be like it should be an entertainment aspect kind of thing, not so much of like oh well watch us do this even though this affects nothing, like hitting surfboards down. It's cool, But what like you're gonna be like, oh, he's the best at hitting certain. Nobody's gonna get like hype for it
Yeah.
compared to like shooting, like sniping out of that's the term I know, like sniper from
Yeah.
like all the way from the blue line trying to hit like top left or
Well, they
top
have
right.
like the
Like those
target
things are cool.
accuracy thing where they're just like
Yeah, I
shooting the
saw
targets.
that
Like
one.
that's cool. Like I like that. That's a like
Yeah.
mainstay. But
So it's just I just all the weekends just need to do a better job of promoting, and then like you said for the NHL, ESPN just overall needs to do a better job of marketing them and everything.
yeah, and I mean, I feel like in the arena, like what? Because I mean, on TV, okay, we just like watch it, but like what? In the arena, they just like watching on the jumbotron, like this pre-recorded
Yeah,
thing. Like I feel like that can't be
exactly.
entertaining.
No, no
So,
shot.
and I mean, they did some like the All Star game before COVID, 2019 in St. Louis. Like they did like a cool like shooting thing like that, but they did it in arena where they were like
Oh, that's
shooting
sick.
like
Yeah,
from the stands, like up on a platform, like into
platform
the
trying
targets.
to.
Like I feel like they
Yeah,
definitely could find a way to bring it in arena, and it's almost
yep,
just like an ESPN trying to be like too like oh like silly goofy like.
yep.
And I know it's like pissing off like hardcore hockey fans because it's like ESPN they market like they don't really market like
No,
the like aspects of the game that actually matter. They're just like oh look at
matter.
these
Yep.
two dudes beating the shit out of each other
Shit
or
out of each other.
let's
Exactly.
suck off Trevor Zegras or someone who does
Or
something
yeah,
goofy. So,
David. Yeah, exactly. Something.
so yeah, all right. So that's a little bit of a old man yelling at clouds here to wrap up the episode. Us bitching about All Star weekends, but yeah, I mean, let
Oh
us
yeah.
know down below what your guys' thoughts are. Just because it was something that's been kind of bugging me, just thinking about it. How it used to be something I really look forward to, and now it's kind of something. Maybe it's also just I'm older and busier, but it was kind of like, oh, this is on. I'd like to watch it, but like I'm gonna go do other stuff. Like I don't really care about it as much
I
anymore.
I think that goes for everyone too. I can't speak too much about the MLB because I've only watched a couple of them, but definitely for me for the NHL. Even as a kid, when I watched hockey, I'd be so ecstatic to go watch that game. Now, it doesn't really excite me. NBA, same thing, and then the NFL is just a joke compared to what it was 10 years ago for the Pro Bowl. So, yeah, that's about all I
I
got.
think some of it is like it's definitely like the players like used to try more. Like there's those clips of like
Yeah,
back in the day in the Pro Bowl dudes getting like laid out and then teams got
laid
mad.
out. Yep.
I will give the NBA to end on a positive note. I will give the NBA since they added like the Elam ending, like the Kobe tribute, where it's like, all right, you score 24 points. Like I know, especially the first one, like
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
like edge of your seat. Like they were freaking
Oh yeah.
playing.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and I'm trying to think. Like I think last year was pretty competitive too.
It was a pretty competitive game. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, if they can keep it up, where it's like, all right, we're like keeping the game close enough the first three quarters, and then like at least that last quarter, where it almost has like
It's
a
intense. Yeah.
21 type vibe, where it's like, all right, the dude's at 19, we gotta like lock up, like that
Lock
kind of
up,
vibe.
yep.
Like that's sick. I can get behind that. I can watch that and be entertained. So I'll give the NBA
Yep.
credit for coming up with that. I do like that. All right, but that's gonna wrap it up. So let us know down below your thoughts on All Star Weekend, Super Bowl picks, trade deadline, anything we missed. Let us know. And Matt, what do you gotta tell the people?
Don't forget to turn on the noties. Turn them on.
Yes,
Noti
sir.
gang, where you at?
Ring that bell. Ring that bell. Never miss a video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.